So we're now going to start thinking about the mills around Derby and Derbyshire. And the first one we're going to look at is Cromford Mill. So welcome to Cromford. It's 1771 and Richard Arkwright and his partners are looking for somewhere to build a cotton mill. And they've come to Cromford, which was a very different place in those days to what it is now. People travelled on foot or horseback or by carriage in those days. And Richard Arkwright arrived there thinking, oh, this looks promising. Just the right amount of water to power my mill, not too much, not too little. It's close to the road, so the rent will be cheap. I like a challenge. I'll take it. But who was Richard Arkwright? He was born in 1732 in Preston in Lancashire, and he was one of 13 children. He had no formal schooling and started work as an apprentice to a hairdresser. He didn't have much money, but he was clever and worked hard. In the 1700s, wealthy men and women wore wigs. Some of the wigs were very extravagant. And when he owned his own barber shop, Richard then thought, oh, he could make wigs too, as they were very popular. So he was always thinking of different ways to make money. So you too could have a go at designing a peruke or a wig for each of these 3 customers, and you can draw them in. He then was hearing that clothes made from cotton were becoming very fashionable, and there became a race to invent a machine to make it easier to spin cotton thread. So how did people make cloth before the cotton mills? Well, you can see here a family, and the cotton starts out as big fluffy clumps. So the weavers, which is generally the whole family, work together to make the yarn. So the children would brush it to stretch it out and untangle the fibres, a bit like brushing your hair. And this is called carding, with 2 combs. The mother then spins the cotton using a spinning wheel, and this stretches out the fibres and twists them together and turns a short, fat clump of cotton into strong, thin yarn. And then the father weaves the yarn using a simple machine called a loom, and it works by threading yarn in and out of vertical threads and building up a crisscross pattern. So that's how cloth was made before the mills. So obviously that's quite time consuming. So in 1733, a new invention called the flying shuttle had been made to make weaving much faster. So it sort of shortened the process. Still took a fair amount of time. And in 1766, Arkwright and his partners came up with a solution. So this machine was called a spinning frame. And wealthy local men agreed to help build a factory where the new spinning frames could be put to work on a grand scale. And that's how the mills started. So before we do our weaving, maybe you could think about, can you change the world? So imagine you're a famous inventor like Arkwright. What sort of machine would you invent? How would you make something that we do now a lot easier by building a machine to help you do it? Have a go at designing a machine, and then you can have a go at the paper weaving in the next video. Okay, I'll see you soon.